Donald Trump is desperate to get reelected. So desperate that he's willing to threaten the peaceful transfer of power. But the New York Times report revealing insights from 2 decades of his tax returns might shed some light on why Trump is ready to shred every democratic norm to hold on to power. As University of Chicago law professor Daniel Hemel wrote in the Washington Post, the stakes for Trump this fall are far greater than past presidents seeking re-election. For him, a loss would mean not only the end of a political career, but also, potentially, personal and financial ruin. The first reaction for many was fury at the fact that a self-styled populist billionaire paid less in federal income tax than an unmarried full-time worker making just $9 an hour. That's a rigged system, and it's got to get fixed. But here's what former DOJ Inspector General Michael R. Brownwich said. If he loses the election, he faces federal and state prosecution for bank fraud, tax fraud, wire fraud, and mail fraud. No OLC memo will spare him. That's serious stuff. Now, tax fraud applies to any material knowing misstatement on a tax return, like falsely inflating losses to pay less taxes. Bank fraud would apply if Trump falsely inflated his assets to get loans. Now, here's what Trump's former fixer Michael Cohen told Congress in 2019.
Mr. Trump inflated his total assets when it served his purposes, such as trying to be listed amongst the wealthiest people in Forbes, and deflated his assets to reduce his real estate taxes.
Now, since then, the Manhattan DA said Trump could face tax fraud charges. Look, baseball greats Pete Rose and Darryl Strawberry did stints in prison for far less. Now, the second issue stems from a mountain of debt. According to the Times, he is personally responsible for loans and other debts totaling $421 million, with most of it coming due within 4 years. We don't know who the president owes all that money to, but it raises real concerns that some see as a national security threat. Here's what the CIA guidelines say. Failure to live within one's means, satisfy debts, and meet financial obligations may indicate poor self-control, lack of judgment, or unwillingness to abide by rules and regulations, all of which can raise questions about an individual's reliability, trustworthiness, and ability to protect classified or sensitive information. Now, does that sound like anyone we know? But make no mistake, this is all serious enough to increase Trump's sense of desperation. Among other things, his favorite Twitter insults, fake, failed, dishonest, weak, liar, and loser, would apply to him forever. And that's before the creditors and prosecutors come calling. And that's your reality.